The operator. We always hear chatter about how they're strong, about how they're unbeatable, about how they're really powerful.
You cannot kill the devil, Tenno. But you can send it back to hell.
But you never hear anything about how strong they actually are. Like, can they destroy mountains? Are they faster than time? Are planets nothing to them? We never hear any of these questions being asked. So I come here to you with a video today to change that. First, let's discuss the relationship between the operator and the Warframe. Warframes on their own are dangerous forces. They have finite amounts of power. They can gas out. They can be defeated. But they are physically stronger than any and all Tenno. We all know that, however. But what about the interesting part? The Tenno, despite the fact that they are physically incapable of keeping up with Warframes, have access to a bottomless amount of void energy.
No. Lies!
Here's a simple analogy so I don't lose you. Imagine a giant tank. The ones with the treads, impressive armor, and can dish out lots of punishment. Remember, tanks, like all other vehicles, spend a lot of energy to remain optimal in their functions. At some point, they run out of gas. And what happens when you run out of gas? You stop being able to perform your functions. Warframes, without operators, have a finite amount of fighting capability. There's only so much they can do without an operator. It was discovered later that the Warframes could be piloted. Before that, they were little more than machines of war, physically stronger than the Dax, but a fighting force like them nonetheless. What happens when you add an operator into the mix is the operator has a super juiced energy they put into that tank. So the tank is way stronger, more potent, and moves faster than ever. They have a bottomless source of energy. Of course, they'll have to take short breaks from time to time if they use too much energy, but for the most part, they can keep going. Their energy regenerates, they're far more impressive than ever. It's a win-win situation. And that's the relationship between operators and Warframes. Warframes don't have to suffer anymore, and the operators can take that suffering upon themselves and build a relationship with that person behind the Warframe.
Tenno, if you are seeing this, your loop has been altered.
No kidding.
You and I are trapped here. Soon, the murmur will crawl through the cracks and devour this world and its possibilities. Our only means of escape, our only hope to contain this horror I have created, will require a spark of energy rare in this timeline. You know what this means. Do not allow Arthur and the Hex to stop this. I realize what I am asking, but you of all people understand what is at stake. For the sake of everything before and to come, at midnight tonight, the bomb must go off.
Shifting our focus for the actual topic of today's video, let's talk about 1999. Okay, so what in God's name are the Proto-Frames? The Proto-Frames are the first iteration of the Warframe. People who become Proto-Frames are physically stronger than Tenno. Now, it is also worth noting that these Proto-Frames have the abilities of Warframes, even if they are not as physically powerful as their more machine-looking counterparts.
I've seen enough, Albrecht!
Not that old dog. This is me.
Next, let's talk about the interaction between the main characters and Man in the Wall. The main characters turn love into a weapon. Man in the Wall feeds on pain and suffering and tries to endlessly generate it in order to gain more power.
Here is the breach. With each cycle, more seeps into her.
Who are you?
Kill her. Now.
Man in the Wall cannot do that if love is in his way. Man in the Wall and Drifter have an interesting relationship, but it comes down to the fact that Man in the Wall can't directly affect Drifter anymore, because Drifter uses love as a weapon.
These gifts you have, a piece of me, given freely. But those before you were butchers, flayed flesh for stolen stars. But those before you, they did not ask. They butchered me. My flesh fed their greed.
So, Man in the Wall has to try to compel the main characters. They have to use emotion. They have to use rhetoric. They have to try to emotionally engage the character in a way that's rational enough from their perspective to make the main characters join their side. That's kind of how it is right now. Man in the Wall is trying to gain more power, and the main characters are a stopgap for that. And Man in the Wall has no answer for it directly. For the power scaling answer, that's the easy part. Drifter literally created Duviri using the conceptual embodiments of space and time. He effectively created the concept of dimensionality for Duviri within the same moment that he made Duviri. And Equinox, as I referenced from my previous video, is a conceptual transduality, which also coincidentally involves the concepts of space and time, because as we know, Equinox to this day is still the best argument for Outerversal Warframe. Okay, that's everything on the script. I'm not going to keep you here longer than you want, so let's cue the cutscene. Peace.
None of this matters.
Then why are you trying so hard to stop me? Just go. Done. Andrade. Bailed. Sorry. Let's get out of here, Arthur. Both of us. Okay?
Okay.
Your heart would struggle to move them. It had to grow. The only way it ever does. With others. Carry this power with mercy, Tenno.